sneaky long kick of the footy, Max, and he bombs away, all the way.
The captain of the Melbourne Football Club, Max Gawn.
Oh, welcome back to Melbourne and into the studio, Max. How are you?
Thank you. A sneaky good kick of the football. I don't think it's sneaky anymore.
Just a good kick.
I think it's just a good kick.
Couldn't kick last week, though.
No, and still can't. That's the one thing I've got to tick off at some point this week. I'm hoping to delay it as long as I can.
Okay, well, let's just deal with that straight away. Do you think you'll be available for the weekend?
Goody picked me last night on the press conference, which has put a lot of pressure on the ankle. So,
Are you D answer? Because according to the Herald Sun, it is D end of the road.
yeah, which is harsh because last week we were back into premiership favourites, and then this week we're the end of the road. So I get it. The narrative at this time of the year is really good. Any team that loses in and around that 8, it's game over. And any team that wins, it's like, oh, wow, they're back. So teams were equal with Doggies and Hawthorn just outside the 8. And Doggies and Hawthorn are all the rage at the moment.
Yeah, premiership favourites.
Everyone's talking about both those teams, and we're equal with them, and it's the end of the road for us. But we got to get our game going. Freo seems to be at Achilles' heel at the moment. We lost them by 92 at the middle of the year and then 60 yesterday.
What happened yesterday? What was the wash up? Because it was comprehensive without sounding rude to you, but they gave you a
Well, it's
touch
not
up.
rude to Max. I mean, if anything, it's a compliment to Max.
They would have been a lot better with you out there, but you weren't there. What happened?
I like to think I'm a 60-point difference, but I don't think I am. I don't think I am. Did you do this game? No.
I watched it. I wasn't doing it, no.
You did the other 8 games of the week.
Correct.
It was a crazy weekend for you.
Thank you.
No, look, their clearance work, it was just phenomenal. They won the first 14 clearances, which is a hard thing to watch from in the box. And then we were 20-odd points down in the start of the fourth quarter, and I think the clearances was like 40-6. So it's pretty good to be able to be competitive with that sort of clearance rate, which shows a bit of our game around the clearance stuff's not going too bad. But, yeah, we just got smashed by it. And they are number one. And they've been number one all year at clearance work, and they just got a hold of us.
That genuinely reeks, Will, of no ruckman, though. When you're getting touched up around the footy like that with clearances.
Yeah, and not just that you don't have a ruckman, but that they have 2.
Yeah.
Like, it seems a bit unfair. You're not even going up against a team that just has one good ruckman.
And you gave them one.
Yeah, they've got like a spare ruckman.
It was a rough week for rucks at our football club last week because no one got picked and no one played, and they won, and the guys that played in the ruck looked pretty good in there. So the 4 rucks that didn't get picked, we got our sort of head on the ground. This week, I think we'll have our chests out and we're like, yeah, we are rucks. Pick us. So hopefully,
Can I ask about Freo? Because I'm curious about Fremantle, because I consider them to be the far western Bulldogs because there's such a Bulldogs connection. Simon Garlick, Matthew Boyd, Bob Murphy, all at Fremantle.
Yep.
Are they legit Freo?
Any on the field? No.
No.
Just a bit of off-field connection. Okay. Yeah, they are. They multiple times in the box, the coaches would say how well they set up defensively. We just couldn't really move the ball on them. They got some super play. Like I said, Sarong and Brayshaw and Darcy and Jackson, that combination in the midfield just blitzed us. They've been doing it all year. Sarong's a little gun. We went in with so many tactics about like calming down Sarong. And the first quarter, he had 11 touches and 5 clearances. He was able to beat them all. So, yeah, they are. They still chuck in like a loss to Hawthorn last week, which keeps you. When we're going into the game, we're still a chance. But yeah, I think they should finish top 4 and at least win a home final.
They've had a lot of improvement across the board, though. Hayden Young's gone through the midfield. He's become a really good player. Some of the forwards, Tracy and Miss, have started to emerge, and the back line's really steady. So for a side that goes under the radar, probably for the fact that they are so far away from Melbourne and we don't give them a whole lot of credit, they are sneaky good.
Yeah, and no one goes under the radar in WA if you're a WA team. So Freo will be on every paper every single day. Like they'll be getting talked about. So the pressure will be high over there. But every time they come to Melbourne, everyone will be like, I'm not sure if these guys can do it. And it's a great chance for them to come over and beat teams. I'm not sure if they got many Melbourne trips left, but yeah, they're a side you probably want to avoid in this back end.
Max.
Yes.
Not a great week for you on field, but we did float the idea last week that we'd have a 5-week tipping competition.
Yep.
My idea.
You say you floated the idea. You basically, in the middle of a segment, just forced it upon us. I don't think we didn't. We chat a lot off air.
Yep.
We have a great old time, but we were in the middle of a segment, and you were like, "Hey, hang on. You know what? 5-week tipping competition. Let's put something on the line."
Is it currently consensual? Are you all in?
Yeah, sure.
I think I definitely am now.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, Max definitely should be all in. Rosie, you
So it was-
had a little tally of the
It was
results.
for lunch or dinner. Will,
That's his
you
luck.
had 5 or 6, but we didn't get one of your tips.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We'll
what,
give
was,
you.
what was the game?
I can't remember. I just put
Okay.
ticks and crosses.
Yeah, I
because
reckon
was
I,
in a
reckon I
hurry.
would have got it right.
Yeah,
So let's go
definitely.
with 6.
Do it now.
Yeah.
Max,
Yes.
8 for you.
8?
Very,
Out of
very
9
well
games,
done.
I lost Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those demons, I tell you. Those bloody demons.
That was the easiest tip of the round. You idiot.
You would have got 9. You didn't have to be loyal to your
I tell
own
ya.
team.
Contract really holding you back.
That's right. Everyone else is like, they won't win without Max. But you
Surely.
can't say that.
Surely I get an 8 or 9.
Yeah, that's right.
Next time if I tip demons and I wink,
Yeah.
just put me down for the other
Okay,
team.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Twice if it's all good.
Daisy, you're our footy
Yes.
analyst.
Yeah.
I am.
Expert.
Expert.
4.
That's pretty good.
Is it?
What?
It could have been worse. Sometimes the more you know, the worse it
I
is.
could really ball this competition and just tip the same as you for the whole way home here. Win by 4.
Just go
Well, the good
defensive.
news is
Very
I get to
defensive.
host it, so I'll be asking you first for the tip.
Okay.
And you have to tip Melbourne, so
I'm confident for lunch here.
Yeah.
With 4 to go, a 4 in front. I'm
I mean,
quite
that is a
confident.
good early lead, I've got to
Nathan
say.
Brown bet the Sunday Rub boys that you'd get best on ground in a game in the middle of the year.
Yep.
And you didn't, he would take us all to Chin Chin.
Oh, and what's happened? Have you been to Chin Chin or did I
No,
get best
well,
on?
you played bad, so we are waiting, but we have to wait for the Brownlow night.
Bad or just
Like
okay?
you probably get 2 or 1.
I mean, it's weird that you said bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Right in front of his
To
face.
his face.
I've been quite
Like
harsh
after the
today.
weekend he's had.
He's flown back from Perth.
Remember when we said, let's be nice to Max? He's probably had a
If
tough
you
weekend.
didn't see the look in his eye when he said, "I'll just copy your tips," you were horrible
No,
that
I'm
day.
straight off the red eye, straight here. No,
Max-
actually, well, I'm not. I got him a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
but-
but you did come, I mean, it's a tough weekend, that big old trip. Like, is there anything in, you obviously hear a lot out of the Western Australian teams, and it was in the news last week about, again, the travel, like maybe there would be the idea that there would be an extra round played.
Yep.
You know, each of the teams in Melbourne might give up one game over a roster to have like an away game in. Do you think there's any validity to that?
There's no sugarcoating that. That is a tough 8 hours on a plane to go play football. And if they're doing that every second week, supposedly, which is, I'm not sure how many games are in Melbourne or Adelaide. Adelaide's a closer flight for them. But then it's a massive home ground advantage for them as well because every other team is flying. Because we're not used to flying 4 hours. We're used to flying an hour or not flying at all. So it's a pretty big home ground advantage. That's not great. And the fact that you have to try and get home and the time difference. So we left at, 6 p.m. Perth time, but got home at midnight Melbourne. So you're sort of losing those hours sleep all the time. We stayed on Melbourne time. I don't know what you guys do when you go to Perth, Daisy, but we stayed on Melbourne time.
I'm not sure what we used to go 2 days early
Yeah.
to try and acclimatise a little bit with the sleep, but I
So-
don't think we stayed on Melbourne time.
Yeah, so we stayed on Melbourne. Well, the Perth guys stay on Perth time. So they go to bed at, I'm not sure, I'm confusing myself on the time differences, but they go
Are
to
you,
bed
are
at
you
Perth.
saying the Fremantle boys stay on Perth time, which is probably a good thing?
Yes, they stay on Perth time. No, when they come to
Oh,
Melbourne. Sorry, yes.
sorry, not
No,
when
yeah. Weirdly, they go to Eastern Standard Time when they're over in Perth. One of the unique things they do.
just to stay ahead of the curve.
Rosie, Wil, Daisy, Max Gawn, they played a lot better at the grand final last year than people sort of gave them credit for, I think, beforehand.
They were very good,
Very
I
good.
thought. Yeah.
Was there negative feedback on Kiss?
No, I think beforehand people were like, really?
Yeah, right.
The fact that they got up there in full
didn't
kit,
melt.
Yeah, it was 30-odd degrees and the
hot.
flames as
And
well.
the kids, they were very cute.
I heard they spent about $500,000 on those fireworks for during the day. So that's money well spent.
That seems silly, doesn't it?
And what about this year's entertainment? Katy Perry.
Yeah, is that locked away?
Well,
Or?
Jay-Z's pretty confident, our Jay Clark.
If you could pick anyone universally,
Yep.
what would be your pick?
Is there a chance me and my two brothers might pop
Yes.
out there
Well,
for
with that remix,
got
no.
I've got a banana. I've got a broken leg. If I could pick anyone,
Anyone.
I've said this before. I would love like an Australian, like an Australian trio. You know, they did the R&B thing at the Super Bowl, and like
Oh,
they
yeah,
all
yeah.
popped
I
in.
was there for that.
Maybe like what's very Australian. It's like the little house, like the summer songs, like Panau.
Okay.
yeah.
Presets,
Uh-huh.
like a little Australian
Illy.
like trio.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, Illy's a mad Melbourne supporter. I actually made
well,
a
good
deal.
that you checked that through your head when you're about to shit can him.
I made a deal with Illy that if we win the flag, I'll be Vera Blue in paper cuts, and we'll do it together.
Nice.
So There's a chance if we're there that it's me. I keep putting myself in a hole with singing in the
Can't
song.
wait to hear that.
So you're now got a rap career.
Do you reckon I could do, after hearing I've Got a Headache, which is a great song, do you reckon I've got a Vera Blue in me?
Yes, you do.
Okay,
For
thank you.
sure. We'll get her in here and you can duet.
Yeah, Vera red and blue. So, Max, we wanted to ask you about Biden, if we could,
Yep.
just like the American presidency. You're a leader yourself, obviously. You know, around clubs, there's always a little bit of talk about succession plans and, you know, leadership groups and how you hand it over. You got a take on what's happening in US politics at the moment?
Yeah, it's a phenomenal watch. There's a lot of ego coming with leadership as well, and it's very hard to stand down. So what he's done is admirable now. It's taken a long time to get there. I'm not sure if this is actually, I'm not that big on politics to know if he had time before this to step down or if this was the time, but it is admirable to be able to step down to realise that you're probably not the guy to lead a party, which is, that's good. And hopefully it evens out the race, and I'm not sure if who I want to win. I don't know too much. I'm pretty sure I don't want Trump, but I don't know. I feel like I do now.
You sound like the rest of the world.
Well, he got shot. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, maybe I do want him to win.
He got shot. That's pretty cool.
And what other way to vote?
And I feel like that exact line is what thousands of Americans said. Oh, he got
It
shot.
was unbelievable PR from on the back of that with the photo and everything. It could not have gone better. The bloke is genuine Teflon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I care more about US politics than Aussie politics.
Yeah, well, it's more, I guess it's more interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's more like the wrestling. In fact, it's so like the wrestling that Hulk Hogan appeared at the Republican
and stayed in
convention.
character and ripped his top. Could you imagine if it was Elbow v. Who's I don't even know. Who's he up
Peter
against?
Dutton.
Peter Dutton. And Hulk Hogan's come and ripped his shirt in the middle of a press conference. That's just where US politics is. That's why I'm more interested. I've gone down that path.
David Boyle will join us about 7:30 to talk more about that. Max, you'll be with us again Friday at 7 o'clock. Thank you very much.